welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147, and it's time to work on Walking in the Rain. This is my big Thursday project. I tend to pick something that is bigger and ongoing. This one is 192 colours. That's where the bigger comes from. So we're working on the last section of this strip. So let me just find, I have a pile of cover paper holders that are my current on the go cover papers. I have my painting that I kitted up on Monday, I have June Waffle, and I have this Thursday one. So they sit there so that I can pop my cover papers away when I'm done. But yeah, we're going to finish this section and then that will be it until July, when we'll pick this one back up again after, say, June Waffle time. I'm very excited to start my June Waffle painting. I just love the fact that it's set that it will be finished by the end of June. It's not very often that I have paintings that have an end date. So I'm actually going to have an end date for this one. But I'm going to start with my symbols that are coloured and not black. And on this part, I actually only have one. I'm still gravitating towards this pen at the moment. I do find I go through phases. I've been able to do a little bit of diamond painting this last week, but not a huge amount. So I don't think I have got rid of the bug of using this pen yet. So this pen is from Hand Turned Heaven. It is half the size of a normal pen. And it's got my 4-placer in it that Kim very kindly sent me, and I have been loving giving it a go, especially with my new painting that I kitted up on Tuesday. The kitting up video for that one went up. Let me just roll that down a bit. So I've pulled my 2 other trays out now for all my sort of black symboled colours. So I've been absolutely loving it. I have also been distracted the last couple of days. So for anybody that watches my WIP and Waffles all the time, you will know I went to my first quilting lesson at the weekend with Caris, my second eldest. We absolutely loved it. We had an extremely busy day last Saturday. But yeah, we went to our first lesson, a lot of it, so it's 3 2-hour lessons we're sort of doing as such. But we did warn her, apart from the fact that I have potentially used a sewing machine before, Caris hasn't at all, or at least I don't think so. And yeah, we're like completely new into the quilting world, so give us all tips, tricks, etc. So first lesson, a lot we had to go the 1/4-inch seam. Lots of talk about machines, sewing machines, because we chose intentionally not to purchase a sewing machine prior to our first lesson, so that we could ensure that we were getting the best one for what we needed, sort of straight off the bat. Well, what can I say? I never knew that digital sewing machines were a thing. The only ever sewing machines I've ever had in the past have been just with a foot pedal basic machines. I used them for scrapbooking and I stitched on paper. That was the extent of my stitching. Yeah, I didn't know there was digital ones. I love the digital, I must say. I was well impressed. I was very impressed with one of her machines that was out. However, at £3,500 to purchase that one, that was not in our budget. But she did give us some recommendations for places to go for a sewing machine. Also recommendations, you know, on sort of things we potentially would need to start. And we got some homework of sort of connecting our first pieces. So yeah, Caris luckily was taking notes. She took gazillions of notes. We also got recommendations on things like, you know, the best thread to get and things. I know it can be done with any, but especially with thread, when you can vary in the price between £1 and £10, it's like, well, if we possibly even more, but it's like, if you know, I'd rather get a decent thread that's not going to give us loads of hassle down the line than get one that's, you know, just going to be more frustrating than anything else. So yeah, we got recommendations on all that sort of stuff. She did recommend a place in our town centre for a sewing machine. She just wasn't sure whether their opening hours were like regular and sort of what their opening hours were. It's on one of our sort of back streets. And after our appointment there, we actually had an appointment, Caris and I, just for our eyebrows. And it turns out the sewing machine shop was only a few doors down. It was sort of on a different street, but yeah, you're talking not many steps at all. So we nipped in just before our appointment. She gave us a little booklet to look over, and we nipped back after we had finished and ended up coming out with our sewing machine. Me and Caris both know what we are like, and if we'd have left it, if that shop hadn't been open, we'd have sort of had to, and we'd have come home and we'd have looked online, and we did look on Marketplace, but there wasn't anything that looked like it was ticking all the boxes. But yeah, we ended up, because they were open, we ended up being able to tick our sewing machine off the list straight away, which was a job well done, in my opinion, because say, I know what me and Caris are like, and the more we could get done that day, the better, because otherwise, once we get home and we start doing other stuff, we do tend to find that time sort of gets away from us, and it's like, oh yeah, we need to do this, you know, and we keep having to pull back on it and remember, oh yeah, we're supposed to be sorting that out. Which is why we've actually left about 4 weeks between our first lesson and our second lesson, to give us plenty of time to get a machine and do a bit of practicing. So yeah, we got a machine. We nipped to a Hobbycraft just to get some fat quarters. It's a very easy, straightforward place to get fat quarters from. So yeah, we picked some of those up, did our homework yesterday and a little bit of practice on the machine, and we've got sort of a plan of something we want to do. So yeah, it was great fun. It has distracted me from diamond painting a little bit. I don't think it's going to replace it, but it may slow down a little bit of my diamond painting from time to time, while I mess about sewing things together. So yeah, learnt a lot, and yeah, can't wait for sort of the next stage. I'm doing a lot of different things, looking at lots of different patterns. I got lost on Instagram for a few hours yesterday, created like because I didn't even realise until the other day that you could save things on Instagram. And I went to save a tip that I saw. I'm not sure if it was the tip or it was a pattern, but it was just something that I was like, oh yeah, that seems handy, especially for me as a beginner. And then realised I could create a board, so I've created one to share. So me and Caris now have one that we can throw interesting things onto. So yeah, got a little bit distracted with that last night, but Sunday, oh, I was completely wiped out. After a full day on Saturday, being out at 9 and not coming in till about 5, with all information thrown at me and picking, looking at fabrics and pretty fabrics and looking at all sewing machines and pluses and minuses and costs and yeah. Let's just say I didn't do a lot on Sunday. I was exhausted. But I have my Sunday in effect today. I am filming on Bank Holiday Monday. We have a bank holiday here today. So, yeah, I decided to get a little bit of filming done. I don't normally film at the weekend, but we are away next weekend. So, and then I'll have quite a few orders to pack from over the weekend and bank holiday tomorrow. So I thought let's do some whipping and waffling, and get some diamond painting done, because I have missed it. Even though I have not diamond painted for the last 2 days, I have missed being able to do it. So let's not get distracted with the sewing machine again. And yeah, do some diamond painting. Okay, comments, questions, etc. So I'm going to run through as many comments from this Thursday WIP and Waffle as it takes me to do this section. But then any other comments, so if you left a comment on a Thursday WIP and Waffle and it's not yet been read out, then it will be read out during June Waffle. I will basically go to the oldest comments for June Waffle, oldest WIP and Waffle comments, and just start reading them. And it will be a mixture of my Sunday waffles, Thursday waffles, and then of course a June Waffle comments too. Okay, I don't know if my glue dots made just sticky or whether I'm actually pressing a bit too hard and it's sticking to the diamond a bit too much. But just having a moment. Kaz, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, how are you? She says she hopes I'm keeping well. I am, thank you. Loving my new little side hobby along with my diamond painting hobby. I think my sewing hobby is going to take over my side quest Lego hobby. I still have a few Lego sets to do, but I find myself looking on a quilting site rather than a Lego site as a distraction now. So maybe I'm just sort of switching one out for the other. But rest assured, I will still be doing the Lego sets that I have. That's always been my hobby that's been a little bit more sporadic, partly because of the cost. It's actually a lot cheaper to buy a diamond painting than it is a Lego set, especially because I favour the big ones. So yeah, it's sort of, the excitement is real, that's for sure. Right, I'm trying to find some of these ones that I've only got a couple of to sort of fill in before I move to these ones that I have loads of. Kaz says she received her May launch items and posted to the group. She says she's watching this video late as she finished work at 8:30 and didn't get in until 9 o'clock. and she needed to get herself some food and to relax. Yes, you definitely need to when you get in from work. You need to sort of switch off and decompress, or even from any busy day, like our busy day on Saturday. I think Carrie's took a 2-hour nap. We're both like, we just need to switch off for a minute, not think, not talk, not do. Just hide out and switch off. She says she's now going to use her new Zesty tray and pen for her Paint Gem minis. Love it. Absolutely love it. I love the new pen. I do keep trying to limit myself as to what of the new pens I allow myself to keep hold of recently, because my pen storage is currently extremely full, and I don't have the space for more pen holders. So I'm sort of revisiting some of my older pens, I suppose, a little bit as a way of sort of feeling like I've got a new pen, even though it's an old new pen, if that makes sense. Right, let's get that one on there. Okay, this one is also jumping out at me. I know it is completely different from the rest, and I know there is single ones up here. That one looks to be a single one, and it is different to that one, but I'm not getting into that section of the painting yet, I don't think. I think I'm going to get some of these other colours. Oh, stick. Not to my pen, to the canvas. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm going to get a few of these darker ones out of the way first. So let's get this triangle. Triangles, triangles. There we go. I was trying to look at the orientation as well, because I have got my diamond painting on its side. We've got quite a few of these to keep us going. Jerry, she says, hi Rebecca and Zesties. She says she had to share. She said her youngest daughter has called and called a bit ago to tell hubby and herself that she is getting a promotion at work. Awesome news. She says, just a little background. She says she has medical issues. Let me just get rid of those 2 diamonds that are a bit dodgy. She says she has medical issues that kept her out of school for the last half of her junior year of high school. She still managed to complete high school on time. Well done to her. And she went straight to a 4-year college. She completed her bachelor's degree in 4.5 years. She was working in California as a BAI, Behaviour Analyst intern. Sorry, words are not my strong suit today. She says working with autistic children. She then moved to Washington State and transferred to a program there, and they encouraged her to continue her education. That's nice to know. She completed her master's program early this year for BCBA, Board Certified Behaviour Analysis. It's nothing like a job title with lots of words. She says she's just completed the training hours needed and to take a very intense test. However, today her company has offered her an early promotion in anticipation of her test and certification. After everything she's been through, she says she is pushing her way through, and all before her 28th birthday. Well, that is fantastic. Stubbornness and determination can be a very, very big plus. It sounds like she really enjoys what she's doing, what she's learning, her job.
and all of that, because everything is so much harder if you don't enjoy it. It's so easier, so much easier to, you know, take advantage. Is that the word? Maybe it's not advantage, because, you know, you can't pick these things happening, but yeah, you've got to enjoy it to sort of overcome that many obstacles that are thrown in your way, potentially, especially when it involves health that can seriously affect things. And sometimes, you know, the health will have a mind of its own and will not let you. But to be able to overcome any potential health issues to get what you want is absolutely fantastic. So well done to her. Magic Moonchild, she said, here's a little tip and trick that she has learnt while working on a very confetti heavy painting. It's a Highland cow painting. She says after she has finished a colour in a section, she held her cover paper over the section to create smaller sections, and then she could check she hadn't missed any of that colour. Because yes, your eyes definitely do wander very, very much so, all over the likes of a painting and things. So yeah, holding, you know, a piece of cover paper or something and sort of dividing it up so your eyes are only looking at that smaller thing can definitely help matters. She said then she moved it up and up. She says it saved her from dipping into the pots after she's put the colour away. She says she hopes that it makes sense and that it will perhaps help me, helps me in the future. Yes, it is a very good tip and trick. It is good if you don't like working on too big a section, is to maybe uncover, you know, for example, if you've covered your painting in cover paper, uncover a section, but then use your cover paper and maybe an additional piece of cover paper to make your section smaller and sort of break it down as much as you need to for it to make sense to you. Or, as Magic Moonchild has done, do that bigger section, but then use the cover paper to sort of help you to scan over to check whether you've missed any bits. Because I think your eyes automatically do sort of skip, especially sort of the middle. When you're scanning, you'll go quite slow and pay attention here, but then your eyes might jump over a few lines before you move on to the next part. So yeah, using cover paper to sort of help keep you on task is definitely a good idea. She also says, she's not sure if I'm still interested in these type of special projects videos. She says, but when watching your Coup Deals unboxing video the other day, she said she thought it would be a cool idea if I did like the older style videos, smallest versus biggest canvas of one of the images, just as a fun comparison for the two. Yeah, I'm not against doing sort of, you know, multiple images in different sizes, sort of potentially again in the future. I suppose a lot of the reason I've not revisited those is not because I'm not interested in those types of videos. I think it's more because I've done them, so they're there for comparison. They're sort of a little bit more timeless video. Yeah, they're more my timeless videos that don't necessarily need redoing for you. It's not like if I redid it you would learn more, if that makes sense. I have those types of videos. So I have videos where I have compared a few different companies for a custom diamond painting. I have where I've done the same image once in round and once in square. I also have one where I've done the same image in multiple different sizes. Easiest way to find them is they're all linked on my website. So if a video has if one of those topics has multiple videos, they're then all together, so that you can find them rather than watching them on YouTube as they came out. So I'm definitely not against doing that type of video. I just didn't know if there's any benefit from me doing it a second time, if that sort of makes sense. But yeah, I'm more than happy to do it on some, if that is something that people are interested in. Then maybe I could do another one of those as sort of a project. I mean, the reason I'm doing a Heaven and Earth design for a second time rather than just the first one is just because I'm doing, in effect, a smaller one, a simpler design with less colours. So therefore it's different to my massive project with 250 colours at 2.5 metres long. There's a bit of difference there for people that don't want, you know, as big and as detailed an image as I've done. So, yeah. Do let me know if there's things that you'd like to see compared or checked against each other or anything like that, because I am happy to do things like that. I just don't want to feel as though I'm repeating the same thing if there's no benefit to that. I was wondering whether to do one of my other colours then, apart from this S, one of the ones that stands out a little bit more. But I'm going to give it a go. I may end up missing a few, but we shall see. We shall try our best, should we say. Kim, she says she really, really wishes that she could organise her books to suit her organisation skills on the iPad Kindle app. She says, let me put them in folders under authors or series and not dependent on Amazon to organise them. She says she has a ton of books on her Kindle and it drives her nuts when Amazon doesn't recognise all the books in a series. Drives this former library employee crazy. You can do it, Kim. I don't think it will stop Amazon doing their own. But you can definitely create folders. I think you can create folders on the Kindle. I think it's called like My Collections or something similar to that. So you can collect your own and create your own folders and name your folders what you want them to be. And then I think you just go to, I think it's called My Collections. It might be called something different. But I did pull up my Kindle app now, guaranteed mine's on my phone. But I did pull it up to check if you could. I was pretty sure you could because I've seen my mum do it. My mum always reads on, her Kindle app is on her iPad mini. And that's what she uses for a Kindle app completely. And she categorises hers into her own folders. So have a look. Click on the little dotty thingies to sort of tell it what you want to do. But I am sure you can create your own folders on the Kindle app. So you can create your own. I don't know whether you can create a folder in a folder. So I don't think you can potentially have one author and then group the series together. I'm not sure on that point, but I'm pretty sure you can put series together or authors together, or like whichever you decide to choose. You may even, if it is your own collection, you may be able to put them in multiple folders. That I'm not sure of.
you may have to have a little bit of a mess, but you may be able to create a folder by author that you put them in, and then create series folders outside of that. I'm not sure if you can create them inside of it, you know, a bit like you would on a computer, but there's definitely a way to do it. So have another nosy, Kim. You'll be gone for hours though, just be warned. If you have that many books on your Kindle, you will be gone for a decent amount of time trying to get all your books into an order that makes you smile. But as with any organisation project like that, if you're anything like me, I love that organising as much as the final result. And then every time I see the final result, once I've got it how I like it, every time I see the final result, it just makes me smile. And I go, yeah, it was worth the hours I spent sat there doing it. Because it works and it makes me smile. Kim also says, she says, missing symbols was inevitable on this WIP and Waffle. She said the confetti was brutal. Yes, there was a lot of confetti on last week's section, this section over here. This one actually doesn't seem anywhere near as bad. It's a lot more blocky, this one. I could potentially use a multi-placer on this one, but I like to multi-place vertical, and I find it so much easier when I'm on an easel, and I'm not on an easel for this WIP and Waffle. I do this WIP and Waffle with the painting flat. It just seems to work for this WIP and Waffle, and I do my Sunday WIP and Waffle on an easel, so I'm not going to be multi-placing these. It will take as long as it takes. Gives me a chance to get through comments as well, anyway, especially when I've waffled about quilting for a little bit at the beginning. I've decided to get an AccuQuilt Mini as well on the topic of quilting, because I know what I am like, and I am a fussy little so-and-so when it comes to things being lined up. And while I could take huge amounts of time or extra time with a rotary cutter and a ruler to get my pieces, straight as, and all the rest of it, I know that I won't necessarily enjoy that part of it. I will enjoy the putting it together part. So I have decided to just get the small machine to start off with. It comes with a couple of dies, one of them being triangles, and I think I'm just going to use that. So the plan is, when that arrives, for us to cut a lot of triangles out of the fabric that we picked up. I think I'm going to go back and potentially pick up just some sort of white fabric, not plain white, white with a white design on the top, so it's got something to it, but it's primarily white, or a light colour, one or the other, and just sort of create some triangles and then sew those together. And I know you can do a square and then do your seam and then cut it afterwards and stuff, but yeah, there's a heck of a lot of cutting involved in that, and that's not the exciting part for me. So I decided it's worth it. It's worth it just for that extra bit of neatness that will tick my boxes. Anyway, Bobby, she says, hey everyone. Just kitting up a painting and found out that it has 137.7 grams. That's a lot. Like a lot of the paintings, a big bag seems to be like 20 grams, not 137, of 939. If you don't end up with a load of 310, you often end up with a load of 939.
And while it's better than 310, it's still a lot of dark. She says misadventure time. She says sharp, pointy tweezers, bare feet. She says weak grip in the hands. She says she'll let me fill in the rest. Oh, bless you. I feel your pain. I am sure the image will be worth it. If you're finding that you're lagging, kit up something else that's bright and colourful, and maybe even a round rather than a square, if it is a square that you're doing. But yeah, just kit up something that is like completely different to do a little section of in between. Keep your sanity and keep at it, you'll get there. Tiffany, she says yay. She says she managed to snaffle an Add More Zest humbug tray. Yes, they're called my humbug trays. I love them. She says she noticed that the Zesty size only has one left in stock. Yes, the Zesty size on its own has now gone with that tray. There is still some bundles that have it in, but the actual Zesty size tray has sold out. And we are feverishly beavering away on the next batch of trays, which will get announced on Saturday. So the next new items / stock items will get announced on Saturday for you all. I'll be doing that video hopefully later on today. We shall see, but I'm rather excited. It's funky. It's funky. Tweety, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, thank you so much for putting the Fansels Fridays together in a playlist, which yes, I have done. I did remember to do. It took me a while to find how to do it quickly, because as you can imagine, there is a lot of Fansels Fridays. I've been doing them for quite a few years. But yes, I've managed to find a way that I could select all the videos. I think I selected anything that had Fansels in the title, so you may find the odd little WIP and Waffle in there, or a completed painting. But if it had Fansels in the title, it went into the playlist. So yeah, there might be the odd one that's a little bit different, but any playlist type things that people do want, I'm more than happy to try and create them for them. The only thing I try not to create, I suppose, too many that people can get distracted. But if they are things that people want and they like a playlist, to be able to just hit go and then just listen, then I'm happy to do that. She says she watched some of them while she was diamond painting. She says she doesn't know if her memory is that bad or if she did not see all of them. She said so many seemed new. That is probably, as I say, because I have put everything in. I have been doing Fansels Friday for years, so you're probably seeing quite a few of the older ones. There was a period I was doing them, I think, once a week at one point. So there's definitely a lot of different choices in there. But it'll keep you busy, keep you out of trouble for a while. Watching them all. She says, say hi to your family for me and give Luna a snuggle from me too. No problems. Luna loves her snuggles. She will want one the minute I leave this room, which is, it's like I've been gone for an eternity when I leave this room. Sometimes it's just as bad as me having left the house, depending on how long a video takes me. So yes, snuggles will be on the cards as soon as I've finished this. Jerry, she says, hi Rebecca. She says, regarding the pickup pen, she says she burns hers and so uses a flame to melt the wax. and she shapes it and then rubs the tip against the outside part of her canvas, so this part. She says it also helps to shape the tip, but it also helps to get rid of the oil from your fingers to be able to pick up the AB drills. She says she's not tried the pencil sharpener, although it seems to be a good idea as well. Well, there we go. I think a lot will just depend on what is handy. What you have to go the furthest to get. If your pencil sharpener is handy, then use that. If a craft knife is handy, then use that. Or if you have, some form of lighter or candle starter or whatever it is, a match even, handy, then try that. Multiple different options is always good, because who wants to get up to go find one particular thing to sharpen your AB ends when you have sat down to diamond paint? It's supposed to be your sit down and chill time, not you get up and find tools time. And then if you find one and you've got one that's spare, you can always pop it with your diamond painting stuff. Christina, she says it's probably just the camera, she says, or some bit of shade. She says, but it took her a couple of times to see that I actually had diamonds in my tray. She said it does look quite striking though. Sometimes, depending on what colour tray I use and what colour diamonds I'm doing, it can take a bit. But rest assured, when I'm actually working on it, I've not had an instance yet where I struggle to see the drills in my tray. She says, also, she says she would say the comments in relation to why don't you sit down and work out dates for launch came off. She said it came off as very rude and condescending. She says not just that one sentence. She says she knows that tone gets lost very easily with the written word. She says, but a second read through before sending might have helped that person a bit. Now, Busy Lizzie did reply, and she did say that she is autistic, so she does try to write as concise and in a non-rude way. She says, but obviously this one did read as rude, so she does apologise, which I wholly accept. She says she tries to picture how messages look from another perspective, but she has obviously screwed that one up. She says, but pointing that out and telling me that it was in fact rude, she says she'll now learn from that and know how to convey her message in a different and hopefully nicer way. She says, thank you to you and Rebecca for helping me with that. She says, because she never knows if it's rude or not, so she does like feedback in order for her to understand and try and improve in the future. She said it was meant to be helpful, she says, and that was her intention anyway. Well, thank you so much, Busy Lily. I say I do completely understand the written word can be taken in a few different ways, and I appreciate the fact that, that you're going to take something from that that may help somebody else not feel, say, maybe offended in the future. But yeah, we can all learn. Christina also said, thank you for the extra bit of info. So it is helpful to know that you do struggle with the written word and things like that. It definitely makes it easier to, I suppose, understand how it's hard for what you're trying to say, or how you're trying to get things to come across, how it is harder for you to do. You're right in the fact that you can still learn from it, and it's good to know that you are doing, but it's also, it can really help the person the other end understanding that it is something that is harder for you in effect to learn than other people, potentially. It's not something that comes easy to you. So thank you for sharing that bit of information with us, because that helps us as well. She says she's sure that Rebecca won't hold much of a grudge against it either. Now knowing that it really wasn't malicious and where it came from, she says she knows she doesn't. No, I definitely don't. It's not something that has sort of kept bothering me past reading it out. I say the written word, because the written word can be so easy to misunderstand. It's something that you sort of have to, especially, you know, with YouTube and stuff. I know when, especially because it was Carrie that wrote it, that's written comments before that have never been that way. It's not somebody that's just decided to go through commenting only once ever on my videos and has just decided to be a troll, should we say, an internet troll, which, you know, I'm blessed in this sort of community of diamond painting and whatever else. I don't get them very often. I have had a couple, and more often than not, those do not even get the time of day. If I got those on a WIP and Waffle, they would be deleted and done. If it's somebody that's not, you know, commenting as part of the WIP and Waffle and having, in effect, a conversation. I mean, primarily it's happened on other ones of my videos, but I've just deleted the comment and moved on. But I say, all Carrie's other comments have never come across ever in that way. So it's just a misunderstanding of the written word, and I have zero problem with Carrie or her comments. An understanding now just helps me to definitely take it as not intended in that way. Mysterious Days, she says, watch number 2. She says this one she is watching on her birthday. Oh, happy birthday, or happy belated birthday. She said she's unwinding from the day as she works on Cara Maria from Diamond Art Club. She says 1 row down, 10 centimetres tall, and she's only done that much, she says, because it is 80% 310s colour blocking at the moment, and she is speeding through with that. She said, let me preface my second part of my comment that she knows she is incredibly lucky to have what she has. Hang on, sorry. Have what she has, and she's grateful it's possible to purchase this much on her birthday as gifts, but she is sharing because she's excited. Well, I am all for sharing when you're excited. There is a difference between, you know, if you have the money to spend and treat yourself to things, or for others in the family too, then you shouldn't feel guilty for that. There is a whole difference between being excited and going no. So you be excited. She says she got a Nintendo Switch, OLED model, a case for it and 2 games for it, which is Hogwarts Legacy and Ring Fit, a personal blender. She said apparently her mum was able to get it on an amazing sale. I am all for a perfect bargain. Give me a bargain any day of the week. She says she got a second set of queen size sheets, an AirPod Pros 2nd gen, and a case for those. I love my AirPods. I don't think I could get on with the AirPod Pros myself personally, just because of the shape of them, but I absolutely love my AirPods. I actually have, I think, whatever level 2 is of them. Hubby actually prefers level 1, And to be fair, I would be more than happy with the first gen, like just the way they fit in your ears and stuff, and the way you can actually lie down and it doesn't dig in your ear. Sometimes makes me think I'll go back to level 1 if and when my ones ever give up the ghosties. She says the expensive items she's wanted for a while, and things like a new diamond painting or an easel are things that are a lot easier for her to potentially purchase on a normal month. And that's what birthdays are for. Birthdays and Christmas. You know, my kids tend to have a budget. They know what their budget is. And when they fancy something, you know, that is dearer, you know, and not something they can warrant getting out of their normal pay, or it's something that may be cheaper and is more of a want than a need, and it's something that would be nice to have, then I'm forever telling them that's the sort of things that they add to birthdays. And yeah, I was very blessed to get my Milky Way set as a birthday present, and then these quilting lessons, which guaranteed are costing me a lot more than just the lessons, because there's a whole new hobby out there. But I am very blessed in the fact that Karis is doing it with me, so we've actually gone halves on a sewing machine, which has made it a lot more reasonable. In other news, she says she feels like she is ready for the science test. Woo! She says there is still some topics she needs to do the lessons on, and she will, but she can easily see the science test in the next month. She may almost start her online driver's education to get that out of the way so that she can start driving lessons, and fingers crossed get her full driving licence before her current learner's permit expires in November, because then she'd have to retake the learner's permit test again. Go for it. You go, girl. I tell you now, I would not like to do my high school education exams again. Not a flipping chance I would like to do them again. I would not know half of the stuff. I think I would even struggle to learn just the stuff that's sort of primarily exam base stuff that you learn in the last few years of school before you then of course take your exams. I wouldn't even like to have to relearn that, because I'm sure most of it has left my head. So go for it, do it, just keep plodding on like you are, and getting your full driver's license as well will just so beneficial. She also says the washing dilemma, she says, could be worse. She says you could forget that clothes have been washed so long that you have to rewash the clothes because they've gone sour. She says we tend to do that a time or two a year. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I did that yesterday. So yesterday I had the plan in my head to do loads of things, you know, to still be productive, take it a bit easy, it's a Sunday, but be productive. Yeah, I put the washer on, I even put it on its second spin, and it was still there this morning, so it's gone on again. But hey, let's say that happens a few times in our house, but maybe because I am being more productive today and I'm filming and I'm getting to diamond paint and all the rest of it, maybe it will actually make it to the point it gets out of the machine. We shall see. But anyway, that is my section done on walking in the rain. It might not be finished before June Waffle, but I do sort of feel quite nice that it has reached a nice end point,
before June waffle. I didn't get a chance to do any extra on it in between de-kitting my last painting and kitting up my new one, because my new one, of course, the video has just gone up, but I've not been able to diamond paint much the last few days. So I'm really looking forward to June, because I will get to diamond paint lots every single day, pretty much, to get my artist room by Diamond Art Club completed. So do please join me for that. No particular rules. There will be a WIP and Waffle up every day at 4 p.m. BST, British Summer Time, we are currently in. There will be video all to take part. Just try and take a little bit of me time every day throughout the month of June. That's all. Depending on your life, your lifestyle, kids, non-kids, grandkids, other people that sap your time, may depend on what you can do, whether it be diamond painting, whether it be quilting, whether it be taking a nice hot bath for X amount of time, whether it just be taking a wee on your own. Those with young kids will appreciate even just being able to do that. But yeah, just try and carve out a little bit of me time each day throughout the month of June. And if you can join me, or if you can have me on in the background while you're doing whatever you're doing, then awesome, I will be here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching today's waffle, and I'll speak to you all again soon.